What's up with it? You know it had to go down, and you know I had to do this one. Now, earlier I was talking about KD, all right, and uh, shout out to a couple of people. They brought up this comparison, and I felt like it had to be done. What's up with it, brother Dale Sloan? I see you in the building first, and True Viking Queen. I see you up in here as always. Now, people want to know this type of comparison between Kevin Durant and between Tracy McGrady, or as we know, T Mac. KD versus T Mac. Now, before I kind of give my breakdown and who I got and why I have them, I want people to know that it's not it's not solely based on analytics or numbers or any of that other jazz. You know, a lot of people they tend to do that when they bring up these sort of comparisons and stuff to say, oh, okay, well that player was better than than this particular player. Okay, we got to also think the time period that they played in. I will take into consideration. Uh, but at the end of the day, like I tell anybody, whenever I do a comparison, basketball is basketball, and the the object of the game is to pretty much put the ball in the hole. And if you're talking about from a team aspect, is to win at the highest level, especially if you're at the pro level, and you want to try to win as much as you can. That's why a lot of people have guys like Jordan or Kareem of the highest order, or when you think of in terms of a lot of accomplishments individual wise or even statistics, a lot of people will put Wilt, and some people will even put LeBron up there, being that he the game. Um, Look, something was brought up, earlier that I think like people don't really take into consideration when when you make this type of comparison. Okay, all right, and the fact that Kevin Durant is is still is still playing, he's still going to capitalize upon his statistics and his numbers and also his accomplishment. Now, if you want to go ahead and just break down the numbers and shooting percentage, Kevin Durant by far is a better shooter, better pure shooter. Okay, he's a career he's a career 49, 49, 38, and 88 guy, which means 49% from field goal, uh, 38 38.4% from 3 point, and 88 from the line. And at one point, he was a little bit higher than that. Uh, while Tracy McGrady was a 43% field goal shooter, 33 from 3 point, and also 74% from free throw. Now, let me stop right there for a second. Now, the one knock that I have on Tracy McGrady, as much as I love Tracy McGrady, is the fact that, okay, yeah, and I'm gonna let you in a minute, brother Daryl Sloan, but I need to get this off first, okay? All right, I want to give my thoughts on everything first before I let everybody in. Now, the one knock that I have on Tracy McGrady is that he had complained about the the defenses. Uh, they had let go of hand checking, of course, in the early 2000s, uh, and they even like Jadakiss said, because of Iverson, everybody credits to Iverson. They even put a zone in the league to try to stop him. But that's real. However, if you're supremely gifted at scoring, then you shouldn't have any problem scoring from anywhere on the floor. Now, athleticism and explosiveness, Tracy McGrady all day. First step, uh, 1-2, getting to the basket, Tracy McGrady all day. Tracy McGrady all day. Being able to, um, in terms of airborne and body control in the air, things of that nature. Uh, Tracy McGrady all day. Now, in terms of change of pace, change of direction, to a degree, ball handling, hesitation, Kevin Durant. You're not talking about. You got to think about it. Kevin Durant's like 3 inches taller. If you really seen Kevin Durant in person, you would probably think that the dude was like 6'11". You know, I mean, you're talking about a guy that's 6'11" and whatnot. Tracy McGrady was like 6'8". Okay, so he's got 3 inches on him, and Kevin Durant is handling the ball with regularity, and that's why they often refer to Durantula as a unicorn, so to speak. And as much as they like to give credit to some of these guys, like I would say, like Chris Webber, even Charles Barkley, in terms of like the position that the power forward position being mobile, things of that nature, then okay, you could give credit to that. But we also have to think that nobody ever saw a guy like Kevin Durant before. You've never seen a guy that was 6'10" with the type of handle that he had, or the type of shot with regularity that he had. You never saw the type of footwork. Now, in terms of back to the basket game and being able to fade and everything, Kevin Durant has gotten better in that regard. And when he first got into the league, he wasn't like that. He's still real skinny, but he was even more skinnier when he had first came into the league. But one thing that you already knew is that he could score. The thing that I liked about McGrady, like I said earlier, and for those of y'all that don't know, I studied a little bit of McGrady, even though I wasn't gonna obtain his height or whatever. That was more like my cousin's height, being at the 6'8", 6'9". But there was a couple of stuff that I could utilize out on the perimeter when you talk about the 1-2, especially like with the 1-2 pull up and stuff like that. McGrady was very good at that. He had a very good, decent pull up. But when you talk about when you talk about when you talk about Kevin Durant, he could do that too, and he's efficient in the mid range. Listen, Kevin Durant will score with regularity when he wants to. Now, another thing that I think that a lot of that gets unappreciated about Kevin Durant, and this was a knock on McGrady. Now, when McGrady was over there in Toronto, he was more of a playmaker. If you remember, you go back, you go look when it was him and Vince, he was more of a playmaker. He was like running the point and everything like that. But then he I call it the James Harden effect. He went over there to Orlando and he became the scorer, you know, and just a primary scorer. Kevin Durant can play make too, and he's unselfish too. He's more unselfish than McGrady was. Now, also another thing that that I gotta give Kevin Durant the edge on is that he's gotten further in the playoffs than Tracy McGrady. And I know people are going to talk about, oh well, his team this and his team that, and da, 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 da. No, I don't care. You're still in the NBA, and we still got to hold him to the same standard. And even when he had Yao Ming, they still couldn't get it done. Okay, so that was another thing. It doesn't take away from Tracy McGrady's greatness or anything, but when you try to compare, like skill wise, you're talking about a guy that has so way, way, way more moves than Tracy McGrady. Tracy McGrady was just raw, and people don't even understand that Tracy McGrady's first sport wasn't even basketball; it was baseball. So that just shows you how gifted he was athletically. But I think people get in their feelings when I say that Kevin Durant is more skilled. Uh, he okay, Tracy McGrady. Well, he never played. He played with a Vince Carter, but he wasn't able quite to come into it. His own with Vince Carter. He wanted to go somewhere else and establish his own thing. Back in those days, y'all had to remember the game was more ISO. The ball is starting to move now, but the Kobe's, the Tracy McGrady's, the Iverson, that was more isolation. Paul Pierce, Jermaine O'Neal, all of those guys, that it was more ISO back then. Like everybody clear out and you go one on one. Even Kevin Garnett would do that at times. So when you're talking about in terms of moves and skill, things of that nature, I get a slight edge on Kevin Durant. Now, if we're talking like versatility, I would probably go T Mac. Just for the fact that T Mac doesn't get enough credit for what he did, like when he would be in you know smaller guards or something like that. But Kevin Durant can do the same thing, and he's doing that now. Now let's talk about clutch factor. Kevin Durant all day. Kevin Durant all day. Yes, I know people are going to talk about the epic him uh, T Mac scoring so many points in amount of minutes and all that other stuff, but it never led them anywhere. It didn't live, but it was phenomenal. It was historic. But Kevin Durant, I think he gets unappreciated of his clutch factor. And then on top of that, Kevin Durant has. I know he had. He jumped on the team with Golden State and everything like that. But you still have to go out there and you still got to execute. Did I like? Would I prefer anybody doing that? No, absolutely not. But he went over there and he did it But what if they would have failed? Then guess what? You would have been grilling Kevin Durant. You would have been talking about him just as much as 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 what you are now, saying that you don't respect this championship and all this count. They don't even respect Steph Curry because they say that he's not right. They're saying that he still joined forces or whatever. So you're not gonna win anyway. But if he goes, somewhere else and he loses or whatever year after year or something like that, then you're still gonna get criticized. So that's the way I kind of look at things. But in terms of overall skill, it's Kevin Durant. He could finish. McGrady could finish too. He was more raw, athleticism and stuff. But Kevin Durant is able to mix it up. And then you also got to realize. Now let's talk about defense. Now McGrady, he defended, but it was like he did it when he absolutely needed to. I think like he was the best, like especially when he was around, especially coming out of high school and stuff. But I think has gotten better. He got better with his defense, as I said earlier, when he went to Golden State. Okay, you keep mentioning that be more, but that's not what we're talking about. I think you're missing the point. Okay, I'm not talking about you know like accomplishments or rings or any of that. We're talking about primarily just skill. Okay, and you could bring up you know him winning the ring with the ring with Kevin Durant. I mean, you got to come with something else, man. You got to come a little bit stronger than that. Okay, because that's if that's your only argument, then okay, the topic is going to be just primarily based on rings, and whether you like it or not, he still has the rings. Regardless. I mean, I don't like it any more than what you don't like it or you don't respect it or whatever. But he got them, and you can't take it away from him. And as I said earlier, just like you can't take away the rings that LeBron has, whether you like him or not. Y'all call him RoboCop or Jay Reed and all this other stuff because of the situation with Draymond. Y'all also say the whole thing about the bubble ring and stuff like that. Well, hey, there's other guys that feel differently, you know. But like it or not, you still can't take it away from him. He did he did what he felt he felt was best. But we're talking about like play in terms of the individual and skill. Okay, accomplishments. Of Kevin Durant got him all day because I mean he was two-time Finals MVP, and he was a regular season MVP. So if we want to sit up here and we want to talk about oh yeah, well Kevin Durant, I don't respect that, I don't respect this, I don't respect that. We can't do that. But the one thing that I will give Tracy McGrady is that over his career, he averaged more assists and and he did average more steals. But Kevin Durant, he got the edge on blocks because he averaged 1.1 blocks per game, and then he averaged Tracy McGrady averaged one by a hair. He averaged 1.2 steals. And overall, in terms of scoring, Kevin Durant scored 27.1 points per game overall for his career. McGrady was at 19.6. But you also got to take into account that McGrady's career didn't, it ended kind of sluggish or whatever. Uh, Kevin Durant got 6 All NBA first teams. Tracy McGrady only has 2 because I think that B more wants to go on accomplishments and stuff like that. So we'll just stay right there. If you're talking about all NBA teams, Kevin Durant got 9, and Tracy McGrady only got 7. And keep in mind, Kevin Durant has been hurt multiple times. Season MVP. Well, hey, Kevin Durant had a regular season MVP. Tracy McGrady doesn't have one, right? Well, let's talk about All Star appearances. Since we're on accomplishments, and you don't respect his rings, and you don't respect this, or you don't respect that. Well, do you respect the fact that he has 12 All Star appearances and only T Mac only has 7? Okay, all right. And then also, you got to realize in terms of in terms of uh, in terms of scoring leader, Kevin Durant has led the league in scoring 4 times, right? If we talk about just scoring and accomplishments and rings and accolades and stuff like that, Kevin Durant led the league 4 times. Tracy McGrady only 2. So I mean, I could go all day with you. Be more. I mean, if we want to go, well, he has this and he has that. No, but I'm not talking about that shit because to me, I'm gonna go by the eye test. And before I let everybody in, I want to let everybody know that I'm not really a numbers guy. And I watched both of them play. I grew up on McGrady and I grew up on Kobe. And I'm gonna tell you like this: me and my cousin, we used to go at it. I chose McGrady. He was all about Kobe because T Mac had came out, and Daryl Sloan knows what I'm talking about. Wait, what probably knows what I'm talking about. B More, you probably know what I'm talking about, and so do you, True Viking. At one time in the league, T Mac had said clearly, "I am the best two guard in the league." That was his statement, and he came there, and it was him and Kobe, and they were going neck and neck when he played for Orlando, not Houston, Orlando. So you talking about a guy that loved McGrady, and on top of that, uh, the closest thing to McGrady, like I said earlier, was PG-13 that I seen prior to the gruesome injury. But like I said, it don't have nothing to do with numbers, rings, none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't really base everything on that. If we're gonna talk about stats and all this other stuff and numbers and accomplishments and stuff like that, some people put Kareem above Michael Jordan. You know why? Because uh, they feel like Michael Jordan hasn't led in any statistical category overall. Kareem is, I think, top 5 in historic in multiple categories. Michael Jordan is in very few. But I'm like I said, I'm not basing it upon that and in his rings and all that other stuff. We are talking about primarily skill as the individual. I'm gonna go ahead and let everybody in. Now, in terms of durability, um, both of them, tend to get hurt, but Kevin Durant is still playing. He's still, his story is still going. His his book hasn't ended, so to speak. But Tracy McGrady got hurt quite a bit, especially towards the end of his career. I would say injuries derailed his career. Brother Daryl Sloan, make sure y'all go subscribe to the brother, the historian, the one that's going to challenge you not only with numbers, not only with facts, not only with well, I would be an understatement to just say research. No, he gonna do investigation. He gonna do CSI. He gonna do FBI. He gonna do CIA. All that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't calling him no law or nothing like that. But basically, man, he gonna put that shit up under a microscope and he gonna go deep beneath the surface. And I'm talking about the one and only Daryl Sloan, the historian of the highest order. Daryl Sloan, what's up with it?
Hey, how you doing, man? What's going on? How was your day, man?
I'm feeling good, man. Where the energy at, man? I thought he was gonna come with a little bit more
Yeah, yeah,
energy.
yeah, yeah. I
Oh
was want to, yeah, I was
man,
want to,
oh yeah, the energy. I mean, I thought it Friday, feeling good. You
yeah,
know, selection Sunday getting ready to come up. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Come
yeah,
on, Del
yeah,
Slow.
man, yeah, man, yeah. I was listening to this comparison. I mean, if you're talking about, there, I mean, really, to me, there's some. If you talk about the body structure and they both tall and skinny, yeah, that. But the only thing Trace McGrady has over Kevin Durant, he's more athletic, can dunk, fancy dunker, but all that. But other than that, other than that, Kevin Durant to me is by a long shot. I'm gonna tell you why. Trace McGrady, yo, hello.
I'm still here, brother. I'm letting you cook.
Okay, okay, all right. Trace McGrady is 6'8". He was a shooting guard for most of his career. He had his best seasons at a shooting guard. Okay, Trace McGrady never shot 50% in the season. He never shot 49%. He never shot 48. He never shot 47. He never shot 46. Kevin Durant is not the efficient. It's not the efficient scorer that Kevin Durant. I'm sorry. Trace McGrady was not the efficient scorer that Kevin Durant was. I think that hurts him. Kevin Durant's a better free throw shooter. Kevin Durant is probably he's better in the clutch. Kevin Durant is a better long range shooter. Kevin Durant's a better 3-point shooter. Now to be fair to Trace McGrady at the time in the early 2000s, they wasn't really shooting three. They shot threes, but not like it is now. But anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is. I have to take it for what it was. I take it for what it was. Um, Kevin Durant is more durable than Tracy McGrady, even though Kevin Durant has for the last couple of years, Kevin Durant has been kind of nicked up, banged up. But I still give the edge to a big edge. I'm still giving big edge to Kevin Durant. He's traded for Grady has been injured. Right around 7 years, that was basically Trace McGrady's prime. Other than that, since Trace McGrady is breaking down at 29. Kevin Durant can last longer because he's a more efficient player. He don't have to drive to the rim as much. Really, even though he has the height and the ball handling skills, Kevin Durant can shoot. There's no comparison. Kevin Durant had like five. I think this is 6 seasons shooting 50%, at least 50%. Kevin Durant is going to make more shots than he missed for the most part. Trace McGrady played mostly his prime. He had good years in Houston, but in Orlando, that was mostly his prime. To be honest with you, Trace McGrady, as you said, he never led his team out the first round. Now it takes a team to win, but still, can he at least lead his team out the first round? He hasn't. And there was a statement that Trace McGrady made, but he was playing Detroit. I think he had him 2-1 or 3-1, I believe. I seen it. He said, "Well, it's over," and he ran his big mouth, and now they came back, and Detroit came back and beat him. Should have said anything. Kevin Durant can lead a team better. Trace McGrady. I think Kevin Durant was on a Magic, the prime version, the absolute prime version of Kevin Durant. He would at least got him out the first round, and maybe to the third. He ain't win no championship with that team, but he probably would. He definitely would have got him out the first round. Trace McGrady had Yao Ming. He had a 7'6" monster. He still couldn't get out the first round. You think Kevin Durant is like get that Rockets team out the first round?
Bad. That's bad.
Come on now. He had Yao Ming. He had a guy.
Hey, my brother Daryl Slow said it's easy work right here.
Yeah, he had a guy. Yao Ming was a beast. The man could put up 20, 21, 20, 22, and 12. But he still failed to make out the first round. But you can go by San Antonio. Oh yeah, San Antonio. He was coming off the bench. I think it was like the ninth or 12th man off the bench. I mean, listen, you want to count that? That's fine. In 2013 NBA Finals, you want to count that? or 2014. You want to count that? That's fine. Okay, but that wasn't Tracy McGrady. That's not Tracy McGrady.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's easy. I mean, like for to say steals, okay, steals, assists, okay, all right. Defense. Neither one of them made an All NBA defensive team. Neither one of them, but at least I think Kevin Durant's a little bit better. The jury's still on that. That's fine, but they still have made it. So I can get at a tie. But at the same time, Kevin Durant's taller. Kevin Durant is longer, and most importantly, he's more efficient. He's not going to jack up shots. Jack up shots. So at the same time, so to me, it's a
wait. Hey, hold on one second, Daryl Sloan. Now, wait a minute. Now, and Daryl Sloan, you could capitalize on this. You said he didn't do anything until Golden State. He made it to the finals. So, I mean, he did. He got further earlier in his career than T Mac ever did. So, what do you mean? Be more legends. What's up with it, Don Lovato? Go ahead, Daryl Sloan.
But the next thing he's gonna say he had Russell Westbrook. That's the next thing he's gonna say. And but see, I just leave that one alone for now. What I was saying is I mean, look, to me, there's no comparison. Now, as far as they height and they the skinny and they don't really weigh as much as other people. Okay, that's fine. But the game is not that similar. It's similar a little bit, but like I said, Tracy McGrady is 6'8". He's a big shooting guard. Kevin Durant is 6'10" and a half without shoes, and maybe you say 7 feet with shoes, 1 or 2 inches, but that's fine. But he's primarily almost 7 feet. So, it's a little bit of comparison as far as how they tall. They Tracy McGrady's more athletic. They tall, very tall for their position. But it's Kevin Durant. To me, really, there's no comparison. Especially we talk about efficiency. I mean, Tracy McGrady he's a wonderful talent. And at the point, there was a serious discussion in the early 2000s. It's like you said, he was the best shooting guard. I mean, it was, but I think over time, Kobe Bryant shut that discussion up. You see what I'm saying? And I think as soon as Trace McGrady went to the Rockets, I think his career decline then was declining. You see what I'm saying? And how I look at Trace McGrady a different way. Again, it takes a team to win. Nobody wins championships by themselves. Nobody. But you had a guy, Yao Ming, okay? You still couldn't make out the first round. If that would have been Kevin Durant in 2006 in Trace McGrady's place, that damn near almost would have made it to the NBA Finals. So, I mean, I look at all that. You see what I'm saying? So, and then at the same time, Trace McGrady stays hurt. The man was breaking down at age 29.
Yeah, that's fair.
You can't. The number one thing, if you want to build a team around a star player or all-star player, whatever you want to call it, the number one thing to me is durability. You got to be out there on the court. And that's a very, very big deal. So a lot of people were making the comparisons. I think J.R. Smith was very disrespectful to say that Kevin Durant would destroy Trace McGrady. I think it would be a close one-on-one, but let's just talk about as an NBA player. To me, there's no comparison. There's really no comparison. As far as the body build, yeah, but that's about it. You see what I'm saying? There's just no comparison. Nobody's going to say Trace McGrady's a top 10 shooting guard of all time. No, he could have been. He could have been.
Right.
But his career faded. I think his career faded. I have to look at him in a different way. I mean, you had Yao Ming, and you still couldn't get out in the first round. Come on.
Right.
Come on now. That's all I have to say about that. I mean, he still got the first round. I look at him a different way. I mean, he can't be your number one option. I mean, he can, but are you gonna go anywhere? You see what I'm saying? So, hey, now he's not even at the first round. So that's all I have to say about that one.
Nah, man, excellent, man. I want y'all to make sure y'all go sub to my brother Daryl Sloan, man. Listen, man, like I said, man, he break it down. Don't get it twisted, man. He could go way back because I think he's a Wilt
Absolutely.
real fan. Not a fanatic or a fanboy, or just a true fan, and appreciates Wilt, and he keeps it objective too as well. I'm getting ready to close in just a second, but let me say this, and I'm gonna I'll be humble, not humble, to let the brother Daryl Sloan close out and everything. But let me say this, Be More Legends. Now, you said he's not your cup of tea. I understand that. So we can't be biased in this situation. You said, will folks be saying KD the best in the league with no rings? Well, he's not. He's not the best in the league, in my opinion. If you're talking about skills and all that other stuff, okay, yeah, but he's not the best player right now. The best player in the league is Giannis, because he holds the crown. And on top of that, Giannis, and that's the thing that you're talking about, be more legend. He didn't run and beg no help. No, he got it from the mud, so to speak. He stayed with Milwaukee. He could have went somewhere else. Guess what? He got the extension and stayed there and chose to do it his way. And I think Brother Sloan could agree with me on this. Giannis has an old school mentality. That's just like for somebody
Absolutely,
like,
absolutely.
yeah, for somebody like Charles Oakley to say Giannis would come off the bench, man. I'm glad Isaiah Thomas really
Yes,
checked
man.
him and said that, man. And you talk about the great Isaiah Thomas, who I have as my number one point guard, in my opinion. He has said that Giannis would absolutely destroy a lot of guys, and I believe it just with
Absolutely.
his mentality alone.
And
Um, Man, brother Sloan, man, I thank you for coming through. Now, man, you got anything to close? Make sure y'all go subscribe to my
yeah,
brother. Go ahead, Daryl
yeah,
Sloan.
yeah,
You can
yeah,
close
yeah.
this out, bro.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I ain't gonna take up your whole show, man. I appreciate you having me.
No, no,
Uh,
no, no, man.
uh,
Because man, it's just that I got to cut it short, and then I was gonna probably do these games and stuff like that. But go
oh,
ahead,
okay,
though, bro.
okay, no problem. One more thing. As far as you talking about Giannis, I'm glad you brought him up. Yeah, thank you, True Viking. I appreciate it, Miss Lady. I appreciate it. Um, about this thing that Giannis can't shoot. I just want to expand on that right quick. I mean, I'm sure you just because somebody can shoot better than somebody don't mean y'all make a better player. Steph Curry can shoot better than Irving Magic Johnson. He's a better player. What Giannis can do firsthand off anything, the all around play. For a guy that they say that can't shoot, he became a decent shooter, but for a guy that can't shoot, he showed his average of 29 points per game. He's probably a leading candidate, the number 2 candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. He's going to make all NBA team. You see what I'm saying? And he's leading his team. So Giannis, what he can do with firsthand, as far as his all-around play, I'm going to say this. It's getting kind of early. Now, it's getting early. If Giannis keep playing the way he's playing, as far as him and Kevin Durant, I think maybe Giannis can surpass Kevin Durant. To me, as far as looking at the game and the eye test, the only thing that Giannis Antetokounmpo can't do better than Kevin Durant is what, Polo Sports? Is what? What's the? I'll get everybody in the chat room. The only thing that you can't do better than Kevin Durant is what, everybody?
It's shoot, but he getting there.
Yeah,
He getting
but
there.
yeah,
He getting there.
but
He
I'm gonna
getting
say
there.
this. Let me
He
close.
getting there. You see what he did to LeBron? No, you see what he did to LeBron?
Yeah, I'm
One on one situation, turn around, hitting it, man. Went from airball and Daryl Sloan in the finals to hitting threes to the mid range.
and guess what? If Giannis can shoot like Kevin Durant, but he don't have to. He don't have to. He don't have
No,
to.
he don't.
He don't have to. But let's just say if he did, there won't be nothing to talk about. There won't be nothing to talk about. And now it's still something to talk about now because he can't do it. Because he's not. Because he can't do it. He's still talking about it. I think he might surpass Kevin Durant. I think he might. And Giannis is a better defensive player than Kevin Durant. So, I mean, that's just no doubt.
Hey, brother Sloan, man, I got to ask you, man, when you going live again, man? When you going live again? Because I would love to come over there, man, and pick the brain, man.
Hey man, I mean, maybe I might do it next week. I don't know. I got some stuff going on, but yeah, I would love. Yeah, I need to start back doing that, man. But yeah, man, I would love to do that, man. Chop it up with you, man.
Hey, Be More, I didn't know that was you. Was you talking about Where's Waldo and all that, man? Man, give me your real name, man. Don't. I be thinking that y'all be trolling. Like
Yeah,
like
man.
brother Daryl Sloan, he come through, he say his name. You know what I'm saying? If I'm Polo, hey, I'm gonna say Polo. If True come through, she gonna say True Viking, man. You gotta say
Yeah,
your real name and identify yourself. But now that I know that that's you, I'm gonna let you in next
yeah,
time. No, you know, I
yeah.
don't sit up here and do that type of favoritism stuff. But like I said, man, I'm glad brother Daryl Sloan came over here, blessed the panel, had to bless y'all with his knowledge and everything, man. Historian of the highest order. Make sure y'all go sub to the brother Daryl Sloan. Like the video, share it, subscribe, hit the notifications so that you will be notified. I appreciate everybody pulling up. Tell them,
No
man,
problem,
Polo
man.
Sports Talking Entertainment, man. Salute to y'all. I'll holler at y'all later.
All right. Appreciate it, brother. All
All
right,
right, bro.
B-Boy Legend. Take it easy.